All right, good evening. Welcome to Groseal Township Community Recreation Commission meeting, January 28th, 2016. Please rise to the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Born and unborn.
Okay. Everyone's seen tonight's agenda. Any additions or deletions? Otherwise, need a motion to approve.
I'd like an addition to the agenda under item 4A. That would be, we have a tremendous representative who would like to speak to us and promote the chili contest, and I will let him delineate all the finer details.
4A. Second, okay. Any other additions or deletions? Back there. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. All right, approval of tonight's minutes from December 17th. Everyone had a chance to look at those. Any additions, deletions, or any other changes? Otherwise, I need a motion to approve, please.
So moved.
Bill?
Second.
And Ethel. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Public comment, 3-minute on non-agenda items. Any public comment tonight? Okay. Mr. Posiask, chili contest, flyer.
Have a 30-minute.
30-minute presentation.
Well, I'm claiming executive privilege.
Oh, no.
All right? No, it's not going to take me long. You know, we have a commitment to repay $38,000 towards the dasher boards on the ice rink. Now, when I get done with this project, my other job is selling high-efficiency furnaces in Saudi Arabia. So it's hard to sell things about an ice arena that we can't get to freeze there, true? And yet we do have to do this.
Yes.
I have a great deal of admiration for several of the people that have worked to get this to this point. And there are several people that were really instrumental in paying back some of it. We are not done paying it yet. The Horton family, Carl Moore, Dale, Joy Porcerelli, Brandy, you guys have all worked your tails off on this thing, and thank you for that. But we need some fundraisers, and I kind of got involved with trying to make a fundraiser or two. I don't think that a chili contest is going to sell $38,000, but if you want to buy that many tickets, I'll have them for you. We're going to do a chili contest like I've always done, and it's $10 for adults, $5 for kids. If your kids are 5 to 15, if they're under 5, they're free. We'll have a 50-50 raffle there. We will have beverages available for donation. All the hot dogs and chili you can eat. There will be a first, second, and third prize for trophies. It will be on Saturday night, February 20th, 2016, 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock at Centennial Farm. Now, the big part of this is that we have a lot of people that walk around bragging about how good their chili is. And, you know, I've had opportunity over the years to sample some of their chilies, and they are good. One of our biggest braggarts is our newest restaurant owner. Smokies said in a conversation, you know, I got a really good white chicken chili, and it could be a prize winner. And I told him that my son is in Pennsylvania now, so he's got a chance. My son made white chicken chili and won 3 first places with it. And I didn't vote, just in case you want to know. But we need your help. I have flyers. I have posters. We're on Groseal TV. Cross your fingers. We're probably in the Trenton Trib. But I need volunteers to put up posters. I need volunteers from this group that says, I'll take 10 tickets and sell them, or I'll take 20 tickets and sell them. Every cent of profit from this goes into the Dasher Boards program. We have a bunch of people that you call trustees. I happen to be one of them. Borrowed $38,000 to this group, but said we had to pay it back. And we're going to make a very good faith effort to do that. I want to help. And I know that you all want to help. you didn't take that commitment anything less than fully seriously. So can I count on you? Can I get people to see me and take 10 tickets and sell them?
We're going to leave some of the stuff with Brandy, though, right? And maybe even have some here.
She has them.
With Carol, okay.
She has some. Carol has them. Dale has them. Joe has them. Joe Passarelli.
Yep, you can buy them at the rec department, you can buy them at the police department, and you can buy them at Township Hall.
Okay.
You can buy them from me. And any of you who are willing, just raise your hands and I'll get you tickets, all right? All right, very good. Flyers are here. Some of the hard copies are good for posting. The soft copies, you'll see them probably at the drugstore, at the post office, places like that. I'm going to just leave them here. Help yourselves. I don't want to disturb your meeting. The only other thing I wanted to tell you is that I said it's only one fundraiser. There is another golf outing being planned. I'm not going to take away any thunder from that. That's coming, and it's going to be a special one.
But mark calendars for June 25th.
Mark your calendar. There you go. Mark your calendars for June 25th. It'll be special. And the other thing I want to say, Sacred Heart has a phenomenal fish fry in cooperation with the Knights of Columbus every Friday in Lent. Fish, 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 fish. The Saturday after Lent, we're having a steak dinner, baby. More to come.
What? 2 soups every night.
2 soups every night.
Fish, tomato bisque, and then we'll have lobster bisque and powder.
They're important. Let's support Sacred Heart in that fish fry, and let's get us some tickets sold and have us a great chilly night. And again, you'll be tired of fish after Lent. Come have a steak dinner.
Oh.
You know my kind.
Wally, I have a question. Do you need some donation of door prizes?
That would be wonderful.
Okay.
All right. Any door prize? We've given away passes for a pool, a golf outing or 2, or tickets for 4, things like that. We haven't gotten that far yet, but those will be part of the mix. And we've had fun in the past. I did 7 of these already this year. No, this last 10 years. We know how to do it.
Good.
We'll have fun.
All right, thanks, Wally.
Thank you.
All right, Tom is not back, is he? All right, Tom's Steiner's going to give a presentation on the band building. He's going to make copies because we're having some issues with the computers and stuff. So let's move to the chairperson's report. And when he comes back up here, we can fit him right in. All right, chairperson's report. Got an announcement about our Groseal Recreation Director. Something I think we should be proud of. She's going to be teaching at Eastern Michigan University, and it's really kind of nice that she's going to be, basically recognized by her peers and be able to teach about recreation. So I want to give kudos to Brandy for her accomplishments and being able to teach at Eastern. Good job, Brandy.
Well, that's my alma mater, so I'm real proud of you.
Did you get her in or something, or what?
No, she meant my name. She didn't get in.
All right, cool. All right, of course, we got the 5-year master plan going on. So, but we'll go right to the director's report. Brandy, what do you got for us as far as the updates and such, please?
All right. Water's Edge, the restaurant, the lease has been signed by Smokies, and they've been working away on renovations, and they're hoping to open in April. They looks like everything with their liquor license is on track. They've already ripped the carpet out. They've ripped the ceiling tiles out. The kitchen is being cleaned and equipment's being repaired, so they're quite busy in there and working hard, and they're excited about opening up, and we're certainly excited to have them. So it seems like things are going quite well in there, and like I said, anticipated April.
Not really a date then, or whatever, a target date then?
No, I think right now it's, well, it's a little early. I mean, they're saying April. They could do a soft launch the end of March. It just really depends on how the construction process goes, and then their liquor license.
Right, cool.
I guess they found out today that it's like in progress, which means they're at the next step, like they're approving it right now. So they were waiting, didn't hear anything, and then all of a sudden they're like, okay, yeah. So it looks like they're, it's progressing a little quicker than they had anticipated. So that's a good thing.
Good. Questions about the restaurant? Okay.
They started actually the roof today over at Water's Edge. We were slated for the second week of February. They came out this week to kind of check some things out and had a little pre-con meeting. And then one of their work crews got off a job early, so they were able to bring us on a little bit early. So they actually started today and right above my office. So I know they're working very hard, but they took all the gutters off today and they're starting to take the shingles off. They'll look at the wood that's up there, make sure everything's solid and nothing's rotted, and replace anything that might be damaged. And then it'll take about 3 weeks to get the roof on. So it's a great opportunity. It's about an $85,000 roof, and we are purchasing it for $40,000 due to the circumstances that they had this ordered for another job, and they needed to use different product for that job, so they were. They looked around to see where they could. Yeah, it's a great savings. It's essentially like a lifetime roof, so with just minor maintenance. So
cool.
That was a good get by the township. The Water's Edge, the maintenance building is progressing. The site's been cleared and prepped for foundations and the cement and all that good stuff. So we are moving along. We're in a holding pattern waiting for the site plan drawings from the building company so we can get those approved, and the architects build the foundation plans from those. So we're in a little bit of a holding pattern waiting for the actual drawings, and then we have to get those approved, and then more drawings are submitted. So it's a process, but we're still on track right now to have it built and completed. The exterior by March, and then the interior should be done by the middle of April. So in time for golf season. The rink, I just wanted to kind of comment. I know a lot of people are even confused or maybe a little angry. I understand frustration that the rink isn't open, but it's very on the end, there's a little bit of science behind the rink. It's very difficult to freeze ice when we haven't. Our typical winters, it starts getting cold in the mid-20s by November, and then it stays that cold. It warm up a day or two, but it stays cold for long periods of time. Well, this winter we haven't had really cold weather until about 2 weeks ago, and so I think as soon as it gets cold, people think we can automatically, well, it's 20 degrees, we can have ice. Well, the problem is we want ice on cement, and what's the last thing to get cold is cement. So the first time it got cold really was in January. We had snow put on that insulates it and keeps the heat, so the temperature of the cement is still about 38 degrees. So it's very hard to freeze ice on something that's 38 degrees. So we have the ice on there. There's water underneath it, so it's kind of floating. It's not solid. So as soon as we can some cold days, the base is there, but I know it's frustrating, and we're doing everything we can.
Yeah, because you did all the caulking and it's flooded, and then now we're just waiting for cold weather to freeze it.
And people always ask, well, how can the pond across the street be flooded and our rink is so much nicer? Why isn't it? Well, they're freezing it on the ground. It's about 2 inches of water, so it freezes quicker because there's nothing insulating, the ground. Even the ground is warmer than, the air, but it's still, it's frozen. It's not holding the heat like the cement does. So that's where we are with that, and we are, as soon as the weather cooperates.
And then your lights for that too.
We have installed permanent lighting versus the temporary lighting we had there before. We were using essentially work lights to light up the rink, and we have now energy efficient bulbs, so we're now down to about $16 a year per light versus we were probably almost at $3,000 last year lighting the rink.
Extension cords, halogen bulbs, it was, yeah.
Yep, so that we've taken care of. It was our first year last year. We were going with what we had, so we invested in the lights this year, and they're much more energy efficient, as you can tell, and they last a lot longer.
They're automatic.
They're automatic, yep. They turn on and off dusk to dawn, and then we're meeting our fire code now. So. And then the master plan, tonight was our third of 3 meetings we've conducted to get community input. Our first meeting was last Thursday, the 21st, and we went over with our community groups. We invited our different community groups. We kind of grouped them in like settings or like groups, like Centennial Farm or, the Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, community, our general community groups, and then our sports groups. So we wanted to give specific time and enough time to our different groups that utilize our services and our facilities, trying to kind of get their input. And then we had 2 general meetings that we wanted the public to be able to speak and not feel like they're being bombarded by one particular community group. So we wanted to give everyone, a fair opportunity to kind of speak what they want from the recreation department. When we got a lot of feedback, I think I was pleasantly surprised, or happy, I should say, with the number that we received at each of the groups. All the information that was spoke about or little side comments, all that was, there's 3 of us taking notes, so we've taken all that information, and all that, even if someone said that we wanted rainbows and unicorns, it's put down in the master plan. We catalog all the comments, and it is put into the master plan. Now, everything said might not make it into the actual plan that we implement, but all the comments are cataloged and put into the master plan, so we do have that history, and we can go back and see, kind of catalog what people said during the 3 meetings. The draft of the document will be available in probably about 2 weeks. I'm meeting with the planner next week to kind of collect all the information, kind of catalog everything that was said, and then the CRC will get a copy of that, and then there'll be a working draft that we'll work with to come up with our final plan, and then that will be posted to the public for 30 days, and then the CRC will adopt that in our March meeting, and then it's taken to the township board for final approval in April. And then I think we'll do our little homework a little bit. Do you want to go back to Tom?
Okay.
Oh, go ahead.
Are any questions on anything that she said?
Yeah, I got a question, Brandy. When the rink does open, will we have an attendant or monitor at the rink?
We don't have staff on all the time. We have staff that monitors the ice and opens and closes it in the morning and in the evening. But we don't have anyone there. It's drop in, come as you want. We have posted hours that we'll have, and those are online right now.
Charge?
Nope.
Well, if they want to run it.
Yep, the only time there's a charge if you want to rent the ice.
Just like a basketball court.
Well, if there's some sort of security problem or any kind of a problem, just contact the police department?
Yep, 911.
All right.
Anything else? All right. We'll slide over to Tom. Tom's going to give a presentation on a bathroom building.
Sure.
No, it's stapled.
Oh, it's stapled.
Tom Snyder, 8448 Rucker. The reason I'm here is Greg Kish and myself over the Christmas vacation got together, and we decided that the 2 of us wanted to spearhead the project of getting bathrooms built over at the community recreation fields that we have just north of here. The handout that I gave you is something that I want to show the commission. The 3 groups, which are the ones that will benefit most in this bathroom, which were Gyra football, Gyra baseball, and girls soccer, got together 2 weeks ago and developed not only a presentation for the master plan, which I thought went very well last week. They also developed a needs list, which is on page 5. If you take a look at the prioritization that these groups spent a lot of time discussing 2 weeks ago, this needs list shows the biggest priority for each of the groups are bathrooms. Greg and I want to spearhead this project to make sure that this gets done. It's been talked about for too many years and it's not being built. Both Greg and I understand that to get something done, you do it yourself. So what we agreed upon is I would do all of the running around with the township to make sure everything is done up to code, make sure everything is fine. Greg is going to do the fundraising once we have a good idea of what the cost of this building is going to be. If you look again on page 5, there is a list that all went into the master plan, and their number 1 priority for all of them are bathrooms. Greg and I...
Just real quick, Tom. So you're representing all 3 of these groups then?
I'm not representing the groups at all. This building will be built and given to the township once this is built. So Greg and I just want to be two citizens involved building this bathroom
Okay, for the common good.
for the common good.
Okay.
When this is done, this building will be given to the township to run as it sees fit. We know there'll be maintenance costs, whether it's cleaning.
So because of the site, you went to the 3 groups that use it most to get their input. That's basically, okay.
Yes. So if you look on page 6, the group agreed that the best place that would be, which would be to the west of the driveway, the western driveway coming in. So they'll, and again, it's a black and white picture. I apologize. I thought I was going to use the camera today, but I was mistaken. So there's a building that is basically going to run east and west that is just west of the second driveway. All 3 groups believe this would be best suited for their group. And so that was put on there in order to give a presentation not only to the master plan, but a presentation this evening. The bathroom, after discussing with all the groups, would be a four holes in each of the bathrooms. The ladies' stall will have 2 handicap bathrooms as well as 2 other stalls. The men's would have 2 handicap stalls as well as 2 urinals. Each would have 2 sinks, 2 mirrors, 1 hand dryer, a maintenance closet type thing where we can do some storage as well as mopping issues, that kind of thing, and whatever the township deems necessary to have a building that is up to code. At this point in time, the idea has only been brought up. I had a meeting with Tom and Mr. Malvesto, as well as Mr. Riam, and we had that initial discussion. They thought it was a worthy project to go through. 2 weeks ago, the 3 groups got together, worked really hard together to realize that their common goal was the bathroom that needed to be the #1 priority. So I'm coming to you tonight to ask for 2 questions, if we can get answered. The first question would be to make sure the Community Recreation Commission believes this project is worthy enough for Greg and I to continue with figuring out what we're going to need as far as building, security, and all this other stuff. And all of this will be done every step of the way. Brandy will monitor, as well as a checklist that'll go through all of the departments that will be needed to get this building built. And the second question that we will ask is, where would the township like this built? The map that you see is where the 3 groups believe it would be best suited for the 3 groups. But again, I am under the understanding that this is township land, so the township should have some say in this, where this goes as well.
Yeah, I'm really not clear of where it's located. Is it between 2 ball fields, baseball fields? Is that where the line's going, or?
It's not between 2 ball fields. It's kind of right now at left field of the second one. Thank you, Brandy.
Well, that little square there?
Yes.
Okay, what's this arrows here then? Oh, this little, okay, that's this line right here is nothing then, okay.
Put it right on third base?
Left field.
Yeah, right here.
The little rectangle. Okay. Okay, I was seeing this and I seen this line going there. Okay, that's okay.
Can it go on the camera?
No, that's why I am downstairs to make all the copies.
Oh.
Something wrong with the monitors.
So what's up, Greg?
First of all, I think what Tom and Greg Dish are doing is my concern is we all get wrapped up in this location when we're still trying to figure out where
But
it
is it a
feels.
big? Is it?
I don't think this is the time to say, hey, this is where we want to put it. I think all this board should maybe be doing is saying, hey, I think it's a great idea. Go ahead and keep proceeding, but until we figure out where fields are going, what we're doing with our 5-year plan, kind of hold off. Right now, we're still, correct me if I'm wrong, we're still working on the master plan. Trying to take this little bitty piece and saying, hey, we're going to put this here and then build around it. Let's wait, see what's going on, and then let's decide where we're going to put it.
Right, because I mean everything can change in a heartbeat just by with water lines and sewage lines.
I think it's a
stuff
great
like
idea.
that. Yes,
Yeah,
we're not opposed to the building. I
Right.
would say that wholeheartedly. Right.
I don't want to get all wrapped up in, hey, where's it going? Let's just agree that, hey, this is a great idea, and you and Ms. Cash go gangbusters, raise as much money as you want.
Okay, well, again, until we won't be raising any money until we know how much the project is, and we won't know how much the project is till we figure out where it's going to be built. So, like where the project shows now, it's going to be about 250 feet of sewer line and about 400 feet of water. Other places, those numbers will change. So, Greg will have a tough time doing the fundraising without knowing how much the cost is.
Well, I think what you can do, I mean, estimate, but you can estimate, say, hey, if we put it here, this is about where it's going to be. If
You end up putting it someplace else, it's gonna cost you less. If you're gonna put it somewhere, it costs a little bit more, well, then you have another fundraiser. I mean, I get what you're saying, but if we say you're gonna put it here,
Well,
you don't.
Well, and again, the master plan here, if you're familiar with from the last time, shows it next to the Gyra Clubhouse. There's a small, and again, I wish you could see it very well on your non-colored picture, but on the other one, there was bathrooms that were shown located next to the Gyra Clubhouse.
But that was going to be like a combo unit. It was actually going to be like a storage facility, concession, the whole 9 yards. Now you're just talking bathrooms. You know
Well, the idea was this, is we would build the bathrooms with the idea there would be water to the west side, so if we wanted to put a concession stand there in the future, it would be something that could be converted, another building attached to that, so that could be done. So when it was going to be built, it was going to be built with all that in mind.
Right.
The storage facility, again, what Greg and I are trying to do is build something that's going to not be political and not favor any of the three groups, because we thought that at this point the bathrooms would be something not favoring any one group. We were worried, let's say storage could favor one group more than the other, or if we lean towards any of these other ones, we didn't think then it would suit the purpose of helping everybody equally. So that was the reason why we were looking just at the bathrooms at this point in time.
Well, for the initial roll-up, just, you presenting this, I don't think for us, like Greg said, for us to say, okay, this is where we agree to, let's digest this. It's not going to happen overnight anyway. I'm sure you got a lot of costs just for the building itself, right? Get estimates for, right? The sizes, we need to know the size of what you're going to propose anyway.
Well, the first part here is what Greg and I wanted to do is we wanted to make sure that this would be something that the commission deems worthy to proceed. I believe it's a project that will help not only the kids on the island who play here, but this should have more than one use. If the township owns this, which what Greg and I want to do is get this built and give this to the township, this could be used for the biathlon, this could be used for the Girls Eel tour, or the tour, the bicycle tour, or any other interest that the township wants to do. If they want to have it open during the day for people who walk along the trails, they can have to do that. We want that up to the township. So we want to be able to give this to the township, and they being you would decide what the use of this facility would be.
Okay, understood. I think it's a solid idea.
We could agree on the idea, but
Well, again, I guess what I'm hoping is for a two-prong. First, I would like to get, if you can, an agreement that we could at least proceed through township, because we're going to need to go plans. We have to figure out what they want this built of. Is this enough bathrooms according to code? So that part of the process, I need probably approval from you guys to agree that this at least.
Well, you really need our approval for any of that stuff, because you would have to do that to submit the plan to us and say, here it is anyway. You know what I mean? I mean, to go through all the proper channels and stuff, you don't need to have our permission to go to and to water department and say, okay, how much, was it going to do this to tap in or whatever. Anyone can do that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I mean, I would hope that the whole final plan comes to this commission when it's all said and done, and you're going to, say, okay, this is what we got. 20 by 20 building, whatever, this and that, and this is our cost, our fundraising ideas, because, I mean, I don't see this happening, overnight, like I said,
Our hope is this will be done before the spring soccer tournament 2017.
That's good.
I think that's a fair idea of time.
A nice
going
goal.
up. So with okay with you guys, then I'm going to go ahead and proceed with the idea of moving forward, and then Brandy, I'll try to keep in touch with you to make sure that everything is okay as far as we're going, and you or myself can update the commission as far as any changes or any thoughts. Is everybody okay with
Yes,
that?
I mean, right now, all we're doing is saying, yes, we like the idea, because we really don't have a plan to look at, right?
Right, correct.
Agreed?
right.
Correct.
Just the idea that we're saying we like the idea. John, you want to say
Yeah.
something?
Tom, you said, or two things, you said proceed through the township. What was the second point you were asking, you were going to try to push?
Well, what we were worried about is the location. Again,
Well, and that's that brings up, do we still have a consensus among the three
Correct.
sports out there?
correct.
Okay.
All three.
Well, the consensus is that the bathroom is a priority,
So
John.
I'm talking.
They had a consensus where they wanted it as well.
Okay.
We don't-
Input. That's
Yes.
all was his input. Okay.
We still settled on the consensus about where all the fields are going to be, where each team or each sport is going to play.
No.
I would say
Settle on that.
not quite yet, no.
Right, okay.
But it's obvious,
We need bathrooms.
there are certain locations that we've already established. And I think what you've done is the due diligence in figuring out if this goes here and this is planned to go here, the soccer fields are here, That's why that location. So it's all making sense. And I think Walt's saying just go ahead and pursue it. And when it's all done, you know you're going to get our support.
Okay.
Because really, all you have is an idea. You don't have a plan.
Correct.
So for us to authorize an idea, sure, right? We like it, right?
Okay.
I think also one of our concerns would be working with Brandy and this commission. What's our liability or the township's liability? I'm talking about manning and cleaning and that kind of thing. Those things would need to be PS'd on the presentation.
And Brandy and I have had some discussion as well, and there's some thought being put into that as well.
Yeah, like do we need prison toilets so they don't break or something, you know?
Well, there's worry about security. As some of you may know, we've had some issues over the years with damage to the township fields.
Absolutely.
And we do not want to have that sort of thing that happened every spring of the township fields to happen to the bathrooms. So, again, there was discussion with Chief Porcarelli years ago on how that won't happen. There'll be lights outside of there, particularly where the doors are, to make sure that there's going to be some sort of security with lights. There may or may not be a camera that may or may not be monitored by the police department. So there are a lot of things that have gone into this. But the physical part, I think that all four groups agreed that the 4 holes in each of the buildings, or each of the sides, the one male, one female, would be sufficient enough to meet the needs of the ladies and gentlemen and boys and girls that are coming to the island using those facilities.
Well, I mean, you can't go wrong with it. Tornado shelter, anything, you know what I mean? Lighting, it's all good. So
I will tell you this. I'll be in April 1st. I'm leaving from Myrtle Beach for a couple of weeks. Our condo is a timeshare, but it's right next to the public parking and public bathrooms and access to the beach. They have the neatest bathroom setup, totally, in my mind, almost totally indestructible. And they're open all the time, and they're so neat. I'll get pictures for you.
Please.
And of the whole facility, I'll do the whole job in getting it, and I'll give you that, and you can think that over and see if that makes sense to what you want to do, all right?
Okay.
cool. Any other question for Tom?
Chair, I just want to voice my support. I think it's great. I think Tom and Greg are on the right track. I'm pleased to see how the 3 youth sport organizations seem to have come together since they came to our meeting in November and December, and then the session earlier last week. So I'm pleased to see your progress, and I don't want to delay it. So
all 3 of the groups spent a lot of time organizing their presentation to everybody at the master plan meeting. They met 1 week prior to that, and I can't even begin to tell you how much cooperation there is between the 3 groups. They all realize that we're all here for the kids, and we're trying to everybody's trying to do the best to make the township a better place, and we think this is one step in that direction.
Cool. Anything down there, ladies? You guys all good?
Yeah, I just want to say again, Tom and Greg have always shown amazing support and work hard ethics for a lot of different projects, and this is something we're really pleased to see that you're doing, Tom.
Okay. Any other questions? All right. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, Brandy, back to you.
One thing before we go to the master plan, Wayne County, we get community development block grant money from Wayne County. We apply for senior services. We get approximately $24,000 per year to go toward our senior programming. We also get $1,750 that goes towards Senior Alliance, which is a downriver community program that we contribute to, and our seniors get services provided to them through the agency. Wayne County is going through a lot of changes. They have been over the last 2 or 3 years, but they're really they're changing the whole program of how CDBG money is going to work and how it's going to be allocated. And I don't think they have the program all laid out just yet. At one point, we were told that we weren't going to apply for funds like we were, to hang tight, and then all of a sudden they said, okay, now you have to apply and it's due right now, and then we're like, we can't do that. So they finally have said we're going to do it like we did before. The deadline is March 1st, so it is a little bit of a time crunch to get our requests in. The good and bad of it is for Grosse Ile, we don't have a ton of money to manage. Like, we don't get hundreds of thousands of dollars like some communities do, and our projects are pretty dedicated. Like I said, the senior services, we allocate $24,000 for our senior programming, which includes money for Sue for Meals on Wheels, driving, our community van transportation, and then some of our senior programs that we offer. The $1750 we allocate and give towards Senior Alliance, and then the other portion we use as sees how we see fit, but there are a lot of we've saved money several years, and that's how we have the AA launch, the kayak launch down at Water's Edge. We've done it has to be something with low income, university accessible, Blythe. So we're really kind of limited as to the options that we can do at Grosse Ile, because we're very fortunate here. So we have about $22,797.09.
Just approximately.
Approximately. And I say approximately because we'll apply for the funds, we'll ask for it, we'll submit our projects, and then months later, then they'll tell us, like right before the projects, they'll say, okay, you are going on this budget, or sometimes like 3 years ago they gave us less money than we had budgeted, so we had to cut our project a little, and then last year randomly we got more money. So it is kind of hit or miss of what we get, and it is based on allocations from the previous year. So that is what they're telling us that will be allocated this year, but we really don't know until like June. So we budget for it and we apply for our projects. So this year we have some money left over from last year because we purchased our van with 2014 and then 2015 monies, but then we were given extra money last year. We didn't know we were going to get it until we got our contract in July. So we do have some money left over. So what I'm proposing that we carry over the money into ADA upgrades, and I suggest that we use that at the farm for the flooring, and then our egresses out of the building, they're not universally accessible now. The flooring is in really bad shape, so I think we can knock out a couple things at the farm by using the monies for that project.
Is any of this money have to do with the opt-out of SMART or anything like that, or is that completely different? Right?
Completely different.
Okay.
Yep, CDBG is Wayne County, SMART is also Wayne County, but they're different divisions.
Okay.
One's health and community services, and one is transportation.
And how's that new vehicle working for you?
Well, our rental vehicle is wonderful. Back in, actually it was the night of our December meeting, I drove up to the hardware store to get some light bulbs for the restaurant because some of them were out. And as I was pulling on to Macomb Street, the car just kind of stalled out, and then it like took off like I was cutting someone off. I'm sure people thought I was crazy, like zipping through and then slowing down. So every time I stopped, when I went to go, the car just coasted, and then all of a sudden it would just kicked in the gear, and I would go from like 0 to like 30. I'm surprised I didn't get pulled over. But anyway, so I called the dealership the next day. They came and picked it up, and they've had it ever since. We had to get a whole new transmission put in. They finally got the transmission put in.
This is a new vehicle, right?
Yes. And then
our first new vehicle we've ever had.
I know.
What is it?
What was it? What is it?
It's a Ford Transit. It's based on the body of a minivan, so it sits lower, so it's easier for citizens, seniors to get in and out, or people who have less mobility. It's a great car. Everyone loves it. They get in and out very great. They love it. And our rental is the same vehicle, so it's like we have the same car. But
are we paying for the rental?
No, absolutely not.
So we got it at.
It's at Gorno right now, and they got the transmission in. They went to test drive it, and then something with the steering gear went out, and they've been waiting for that part 10 days now. So I'm working with a customer service agent through Ford, and she keeps giving me updates, and they're doing the best that they can, and they provided us a rental, and we've been using it for about a month.
They can't even give us like just a brand new one, just keep that one there then, huh?
Well, I think we're at the point of if the lemon law was at 3 things, so I don't know when they get that in if something else goes.
I'll find out.
Well, they're sending as things broke, they're sending it back to Ford research, so I don't know if they're having other issues with other ones, or ours is anomaly. And
a few people.
I know the owner. Gorno.
Good luck at that.
Yes. It was, yeah, the sad part is I had to go through customer service, so I hated to make a claim against Gorno, but I mean, that's what they told me to do so I could get the rental. So, and it was imperative. I mean, we couldn't go without Meals on Wheels, and we can't go without our senior transportation. So, but we got it all worked out, and like I said, the rental they gave us is the same model car that we have, and she was like, "Man, this thing drives great." I'm like, "Well, hopefully ours will drive like that when we get it back." So that's interesting. So anyways,
Fun,
yeah. With the community block grant money, I just wanted the blessing of the CRC to apply for funds to put towards flooring and ADA upgrades at Centennial Farm, the activity room. That'll help our seniors and our accessibility.
Guys, no problem. You guys didn't have anybody have a problem?
No, we need
No, absolutely not.
Great job.
We will have 2 community input meetings, the next 2 township board meetings. We have to have public comment and input into how we spend our funds. So the next 2 township board meetings, we will have public input prior to the board meetings, and then we go to the township board for their final approval.
Cool.
And then our homework, Chapter 5.
Action Jackson.
So at the December meeting, I asked everyone to kind of go over the mission statement, our goals, and essentially our guidelines of how we run our department, how we come up with new programs, and I just wanted to address that. Chances are a lot of them will not change, but since this is our time when we're going through our master plan to update anything that we may or may not want to keep into the plan. And so the mission statement we've seen at the community input meetings, but to contribute to the social, physical, educational, cultural, and general well-being of Groseal community and to preserve the natural landscape and environment. So that essentially is our mission statement as a recreation department. And I just wanted to see how we felt about it and if that was still our mission statement, if we wanted to tweak it or edit it, or if we were good with.
Well, it's been like that for years. I mean, really, right?
Well, it doesn't mean we can't update it if we wanted to.
Covers everything due, though.
Yeah, right. But you don't. I mean, I don't have any alternatives. Do you? Does anybody else have any alternatives, or
Put a couple of capital letters in there.
A second, guys. I thought I had some remarks on mine.
Did you need another copy, or?
Well, I need to find my written.
her copy she put down some
I
comments.
think I put some comments. I just wanted to get it out.
Does everybody have their
My
copy?
concern was on the first goal, meet the recreation needs of all segments of the Groseal population, including preschool and elementary school children, teens, adults, seniors, persons with disabilities, families, singles, adults, and seniors. And it seems like we've had a lot of discussion about sport on this island, and I wasn't sure if that goal should be adjusted to include an example or what. It's just, it seems like we spend a lot of time talking about the sports, and that's not the only need, if you know what I mean.
Well, I think the goals are to be general, so to meet the recreation needs of the segments you listed. So a recreational need of middle school or elementary is sports, and so same with adults. So I don't know that there's any specific programs that are listed there. I think they list the segments of the population versus the programs.
Well, as long as everybody understands recreation is more than sports,
right?
Then that's fine with me. But I just wanted to bring that up because I mean, I'm a sports person. I love all the sports, but at the same time, it's recreation, and not everybody is as talented as everybody else. And I'm concerned about the least talented as well as the most talented.
Right.
Well, there's a lot of programs that we have. They're not necessarily sports. If it's programs you can sign up for online, there's lots of programs. I don't know, is
babysitting.
Is dance a sport? I mean, it's a diverse amount of recreation we offer. I appreciate it's more in sports, but I think It doesn't say sports, it says recreation. So we
right.
agree that definition is wide.
Right. Because recreation's different for everyone. Some it's theater, some it's...
Right. Mike and I are in agreement, I think.
Yeah.
But we're good with the mission statement, right? No one's got any issues with that, right?
Right.
Says it all?
And then goals, like Leah just said, the first one is meet the recreation. I think we just went over that one. We probably don't need to revisit it. Design recreation facilities that not only provide recreational opportunities, but also contribute to the aesthetics, quality, and ecological balance of the township.
The only thing I want to add for any of these goals is, in your rec world, what are the buzzwords? That's what I think you need to include. What's the newest, latest, and greatest buzzwords of the next 5 years? You know, that's what I think the wordsmithing would come in. You know, like when we talked about for handicap, well, now it's universal, whatever, you know what I mean? Stuff like that, right? That's about the main thing I would be concerned about.
Right. Well, does anyone see any issues with any of the goals that we've established before?
No.
I wanted to ask where it says foster new relationships. It does say, including, limited to, but it just calls out the schools, the nature conservancy, private recreation providers. What are private recreation providers?
Or contract people, right?
Private would be like the dance studios. So people who like own a facility that does recreational opportunities are contractors. So working with the private sector, not just within ourselves.
People that have been coming to our meetings represent the sports teams. That's public. That's
Public, yep, public and non-profit.
Kind of not inclusive, but I mean, Craig, we could have 50 organizations in there if we wanted to.
Right.
Not inclusive, so I'm okay with it.
Okay.
Yeah, and would that also include, like, we do add a theater program into the master plan? Would the person who's running that program be considered under that private recreation providers?
Yes.
Okay.
Depending on who they are, it could be a community group or it would be a private provider, yes.
In your past, have you seen any other goals that maybe that you think we're missing, Brandy, at all?
No, I think these are specific to the community, but they're general enough where they kind of fall under.
That's a lot, right?
Yeah, each one is its own little umbrella. And then as far as the guidelines under programming and facility development and land acquisition, did you see anything that was glaring that you felt needed to be added, deleted, or edited?
I didn't come across anything. Did anyone else come across anything that needed to be edited?
I just think it's a good time. I mean, anytime that we're updating the plan, we should kind of go through it thoroughly and not just rubber stamp it. I think we should take time to look it over.
I don't think we've really, in the last 5, because the last 5-year master plan is basically about maintaining and maintenance and stuff like this. So we really didn't have really a lot changing, really, per se, really, right? The kayak launch is new, and the rink, that would probably be the only 2 things, and that was all not really out of our budget too much. So.
Are we on programming or are we?
We're on the programming part, right?
Okay.
That's what she's talking about. Anything right through that. I mean, anything that we go to family development or facility development, land acquisition. Is there anything glaring at all that you guys reviewed? Because otherwise, this is all pretty much the standard stuff, basically. Really, I mean, this is like the stuff that's been maybe tweaks here and there, basically, but not much.
I just wanted to address it. I didn't want to arbitrarily just okay it without coming to the CRC to get your opinion on those sections.
I don't think anything really that we, bike path, open space, I mean, we're still all involved with that.
And I'm working with them to update what they've done and make sure that those sections are updated as well.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
We heard a lot about the need for improved communications since the yield camera has gone away. I'm wondering if there's some place in here that we should talk, like the next to the last one, it says improve accessibility to technology and transportation. I wonder if we should add something in there about apps, and I don't know if you have to mention it, but all the means of communication and what we need to do, because we don't have that handy little thing to notify people.
There's further in the document, there's priorities, and that would be one of the priorities that we have is to improve communication. One, it's an internal goal, and two, we heard it quite frequently throughout the three meetings, so that would be a priority that I think that we would add in there. Some of those are things that we've, page 13, some of our priorities will stay the same. A lot of it is ongoing maintenance and safety issues, making sure that we're maintaining our facilities and making them as safe as possible. So one of the things that we would want to add would be communication and making sure that we're reaching out to the community the best that we can in new avenues, since we do not have the Yale camera anymore.
Did you change anything at all from the last one for communication at all because of your upgrades to the online registration and stuff like that? I mean,
Chapter 5 is my last chapter to do. The other 6 sections have all been updated. Right. The statistics, the acreage, the open space. I went through and between Brian and myself updated the document. Just Chapter 5 is the last thing that we're working on. One, it's where all the community input will be put in. Make sure our goals and objectives are the same, and then actually updating the actual master plan of the items that we've already done, and then what we want to put into that master plan year by year. So some of those upgrades will be put in there when we edit this final chapter. In our online registration will be addressed, because one of our priorities was provide easier registration to the community.
Well, I mean, for communication, you got further develop the online service. Well, I mean, you've already developed it, right?
Right. So that goes off.
Right.
And then what we would put in is to, look at new avenues for communication to the public.
Okay.
So in the next couple weeks, I'm meeting with Mr. Boardman on Tuesday, and we are going to go through all the information that we received from the 3 meetings, put it into the document, edit these last few paragraphs in the action program, and then we'll get a document to you that will be a rough draft for everyone to review, look it over, and see where we are, and see what your input is, and then we'll do edits to that, and then we'll need to post the document for 30 days to the public. They'll have the ability to read it over, look at it, and then we'll get public input before our next, before our March meeting.
Right.
So February we'll have an opportunity to pick it apart some more, and then the final copy goes to our approval on March 24th meeting, and then it'll go to the Township Board on the April 11th meeting. So we do have a little bit of homework still to do on the master plan once we get all the information.
Well, as far as the Chapter 5, there's a couple things that they're always going to be ongoing, like in the back here, like things that we've done. I think you've scratched off some stuff, didn't you? Did I see that right?
Yep.
Things that were accomplished.
Yeah, because, I mean, like the marina pilings, that's like a yearly thing, okay?
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
I mean,
So
we've
anything
done
that was-
but we always got to do that.
Yep, anything that I put the line through, we don't need to put back on there, because we either purchased it, we've implemented it, or it's no longer needed for whatever reason. And then anything that's still there, a lot of it either has not been addressed yet and still needs to be addressed, or it's an ongoing issue, like a safety issue or a maintenance issue that needs to, it might be a more costly maintenance issue that we have to do, like the pilings at the marina. That's something that should be in the plan, because there is it's not just a mop a floor type thing. It's something that requires more monetary commitment.
Right.
Mr. Chair, I got a question or a comment.
Sure.
I'm looking at page 513. When I reviewed it, priorities for Water's Edge recreation area improvements, there's a lot of priorities. There's a lot of things we need to do, even at the marina every year, there's more things we want to do and have to do than we have budget for. So I don't know how I know we don't have the money to do everything, so how do you reconcile, prioritize?
Right.
Is there any relationship between the priorities and our budget? There must be.
Yes, because we're going to be getting in more money as things get paid off from past things that we've done and amortized out. We'll be getting some of that, actually more money through the years. Like we'll be paying off the seawall. Stuff like that. So we won't have that payment anymore. We'll be able to put that back in. But like when you talk about the Water's Edge, though, the pool bathhouse, she did a major improvement to that thing. If you guys ever been to that this summer, it's like big time difference. You know what I mean? Well, just by what she did cosmetically, and a lot of it structurally too, because you could see right from the outside in, step cracks and stuff like that. So it's a challenge. It's a challenge, that's for sure.
And just to address a little further, we have priorities and we have an outline of what is in the master plan. And some of those we put in there knowing that we fully can't fund those ourselves. But by putting them in there, we can apply for grants through the DNR or the Land and Water Trust Fund. There's a lot of grant opportunities, and if it's not in our master plan, they won't fund them. So some of the items, a lot, in particular with Marina, we have a couple avenues we'll never, unless we did a millage or somehow did something, we wouldn't be able to do some of the things that we want to do down there without the grant funding. So some of the things, the general maintenance, the repairs that we need to do day to day, those are kind of in our budget, and we put some of those in the master plan, but we need to aim a little higher with our master plan, hoping to get those grant dollars. And part of those grants are scored, and so by those being a priority in our master plan, we get points for that. We get points for, everything's kind of scored on public access or the need in a community. Every grant has qualifications of what the scorecard is, and then your project is scored, and then depending on the year and the dollar amounts that people are asking and the dollar amount that's in the trust that they're giving out that year, if you score 80 or higher, your project's funded. So if you scored 79, your project's not funded. So it's really important to go through and put those projects in here in hope that we can apply for those grants and be able to do the project. And what we would have to do is, depending on what grant, we would have to provide the matching funds requested for that grant. So then that's what we put into our budget is, instead of $150,000, we put in $20,000 because that's what our match would be. I'm just throwing those out there. I have no particular project in mind, but that's how we would get something larger funded, and that's why we have those priorities in there.
Do you remember when we did the marina, that conceptual drawing about with the docks and the pier and all that stuff like that? The grand old plan and the whole thing would have cost probably $1 million ever, but the whole idea of that plan was that for grants, they could see the greater good of where that little bit of money going for these little projects to go for the big one. So this is like what Brandy's saying, the whole thing. You know what I mean?
And I'm convinced how Brandy just replied. Now I'm comfortable. She's got a budget. She's got a plan. I like the idea. You said got to reach. So I think she answered my question. Okay, that good. There's budget and there's what we want to do and there's goals there and
they all want to see where their money's going to go. They don't want it to spend tens of thousands of dollars on a project just in 3 years we're going to destroy and put something else in there. You know what I mean? They have to keep on building. It's a building block. Is I guess the best way to say it. But you want to say something, Bill?
Well, I just wanted to say in recollection of past programs and things that we worked on. $90,000 was being assessed to the golf club at one time, and we had a meeting with the township, and they agreed, since they built the building and they decided to tear the building down, they would put that $90,000 into the general fund to pay that back. I see that now we got our money allocated through the
maintenance millage.
Yeah. They put that back on recreation. That's good or bad, I don't know. That's be something for you. The thing that I remember about working on that is that in 2017, $40,000 was used to tear the old building down, paid off in 2017. And I believe it's 2021 is the other $50,000 will be paid off.
So,
2025.
is it 25? Oh, okay. Okay. Well, anyway, that'll be 40 grand that'll give you, and the whole recreation department that we won't have to worry about unless we paid it off. But there's so many things like that good in total for the community and for with a bulldozer, but they won't let me borrow it.
Okay.
All right, so any other questions then? Anything else, Brandy, then?
Nope, that's all I have.
Okay.
You know, I think I just looked on page 4, and there's a good statement in there about my concern about communication.
Communication?
Page 5.
Yeah,
Which bullet?
Bullet point.
that whole thing under communication.
Oh, the whole thing, all of them.
Okay.
That it covers what I was concerned about, I think.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so I guess we kind of went into our old business there, Brandy, too, then?
Yes. Yep.
All right, new business. Nominate and vote on chair, vice chair, and secretary position. All right, secretary, I nominate Leah.
I'll second.
Leah, do you accept?
Yes.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, Madam Secretary, you are approved. Now we have an issue with vice chair. The Honorable Bill Morrow wants to retire, and he's been the vice chair. Do we have a nomination to replace Mr. Morrow? Anybody willing to be a vice chair? Anyone down there?
Done now. I already turned it in.
Okay.
Greg?
Johnny.
No, John, let me,
I'm Bill.
because there are reasons why I wouldn't recommend that at this point. And
I
it's
wouldn't recommend somebody that's not here.
personal between me and him. That wouldn't be an ideal thing. I mean, health issue.
Right.
So,
No, I got you. I understand.
enough said.
Ethel?
You want to do it?
Want to be a vice chair? Ann?
Nah, no, I don't think so. Not right now.
Greg, you the man.
No.
Someone nominate Greg. No?
What about Mike?
Mike?
What about Mike?
How long's my term? I can do it through my term, whatever that is.
Your term is up in
2025.
March. Are you going to re-up? Are you going to re-up?
That'll be a 3-year thing if you
I
re-up.
can't re-up for 3 years.
Well, you can leave after 2.5.
Let's move it along. Put me down for the vice chair at this moment.
Okay, so nominate Mike for vice chair, second.
I'll second.
And all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, so we got Mike as the vice chair. So now we got to vote on a nomination for chair.
Can we nominate you, Walt?
We can.
We can. Okay.
Well,
Okay.
All right. Bill, second. We need a second then? Okay.
But you got it all.
Oh, wait a minute. And nominated
I'll
Bill second.
nominate you.
the nomination, I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, so we got our chair, vice chair, and our secretary. All right, thank you. All right, subcommittee updates. Township Board Liaison, Mr. Melvesto, you got anything you'd like to talk about today?
Not really. Everything is, currently, it's waiting for the master plan put forward. There's really nothing going on in the township, at board level. That's pressing. Brandy's been keeping us up to date with the progress of building. There's really not much else.
Can you get her a new van?
I've had a number of conversations with Brandy about the van, and I've offered to make phone calls if need be, but she's been doing. She's content that everything is moving along as best as possible. So.
All right, very good. Open space and greenways. Leah, got anything you'd like to report?
Just that I'll be at the meeting next Tuesday.
Okay. Any questions for Leah? All right. Golf committee, Mr. Morrow.
I need to ask Randy, have we,
whether it's the key.
We have a lot of equipment ordered. We have some of the pieces in. Some of them they've ordered. They're holding them for us and don't have the facility up and running yet. Instead of trying to host them all over the township, they're housing them for us until the weather breaks. So we'll be getting equipment. The building, if keeps going to plan, we should be good to go in April. So there might be a little back and forth right at the beginning of the season, but we should be right on track, and we'll have new equipment and a new building, and not quite the way we wanted to get there, but it's certainly the light at the end of the tunnel.
Course and have a new building move in, it'll be a lot. So, like, to go on Bill's thing with equipment, do we have everything we're going to need then? Is there anything that we're in need of that we
no, I think
because of the fire?
Well, we were very selective of what we were purchasing. We don't have as many pieces as we did before, but because of the new pieces that we're buying, we don't necessarily need, a lot of our equipment.
Purposes and stuff.
Right, and we had a lot of backup equipment because we never knew when, a lot of our equipment was 20, 30, 40, 50 years old, and we just, sometimes we just didn't have the equipment that was running that day, so we'd have to use other pieces. So we should be in really good shape, and I think we'll be up and running and probably in better shape than we have been in a long time, or maybe even ever, because of the amount of new equipment that we have and capabilities. And we did through this process, it's like I said, we're getting to a point that we're better, but it's not really the road we would have wanted to get there. But we're definitely making lemonade out of lemons, and we're gonna have a new facility. We'll have new equipment. We have a partnership with a new company that's helping us aerate and do our chemicals, and I think we're gonna be in better shape than we've been in a long time.
That's great. And the other thing I wanted to mention is, and you touched on it, is the equipment that we've had and the work that has been done over the years by Mark and his brother have just been phenomenal. You who aren't aware, this guy's a miracle worker. I mean, I don't think there's anything this man can't fix.
Mark and Gary.
And when Gary and Gary was our key guy for the chemicals and things. He had the license, but Mark has done such a great job. And Brandy's not kidding when she's talking about 60, 70-year-old pieces of equipment that have been running every day during the summer in the golf course, and only running because Mark keeps going. So if you're ever by there and you know who he is, or you get a chance to say thanks, you ought to do that, because that is wonderful. We're hoping this year is going to be a great year for golf. We'll pray for good weather. And I'm asked by the Fourth Degree Knights of Columbus to put on a golf tournament. And one of the sites I'm anxious to work with Smokies and Water's Edge to see what we can do to put together a tournament. I'm not sure what the time frame is going to be, but I'll work with you and the township, the recreation to put that together, and also with Smokies. They've also asked me to check in to see what we can do in Wyandotte at Wyandotte Shores. So I have both of those duties to do. But even if we do this tournament there, I promise you I'll put a tournament on here to generate money, possibly for the ice rink.
Cool.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's just a fun thing to do, and it's such a great course. Just a fun course. So come on out, play, and enjoy it. And if your soccer kids are into kicking the ball, have them play that too. Thank you.
All right. Any questions for Bill? All right. Thanks, Bill. Mr. Swales, anything on the marina?
No report this month, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Helena is excused. Mr. Myring, anything on the airport recreation? I know we had the presentation from...
Echo Mr. Malvesto's comments. Just keep working the process and make sure.
All right. Questions for Greg? All right. Thanks, Greg. All right. Here we go. Senior citizens. Ethel, what do you got for us?
Thank you, Wally. I've asked Ann to read my report for me, please.
I sure will. Recreation Commission meeting, January 29. First and third Thursday, cards, 1 o'clock at Centennial Farm. In the activity room, they're playing Pinochle, any other card games or games you wish to play also. Bring your foursome, coffee, tea are provided. Enjoy an afternoon out. Aerobic walking to music for adults, Monday through Friday, Centennial Farm Activity Room, 6:45 to 7:45 a.m., $1 daily, $5 weekly. Your choice of how you wish to walk 1, 2, 3, or 4 miles. Sounds like something for you? Check it out. Looking forward, mark your calendar, ages 55 plus. St. Patrick Dinner, Wednesday, March 16th at 12:30 at Centennial Farm. Activity room is $10. Advance reservations only. Menu is corned beef and cabbage, chicken, potato, carrots, rolls and butter, green sherbet, and cookies. This is a super bargain. No tax or tip to add. Coffee, tea, soft drinks are included. Grandparents, bring your grandchildren and friends. Or actually, this is open to everybody. Annual Easter event, Saturday, March 19th at Centennial Farm. There's 2 sessions, 9:30 to 11 and noon until 1. It's $8 per child. Each session includes brunch, Easter egg hunt by ages, and prizes. Adults may purchase breakfast tickets for $4. Registration is required. All Recreation Department activities and information are online at www.grosseorecreation.com, or you can phone at 734-675-2364. And that's Ethel's report.
Any questions for Ethel or her interpreter, Ann? I think we're all good. Thank you. Mr. Conroy has...
Thank you, Ann.
Okay, excuse. And Playscape in Sunrise Park.
For the Playscape, there's really nothing new to report. For Sunrise Park, just in listening, it's been very interesting to hear all the excitement that's been going on about Sunrise Park just at these informational meetings. So that is something that I guess I didn't realize people really are excited about Sunrise Park. So other than that, that's all I got.
Any questions for Ann? Thank you, Ann. Miss Snyder, what do you got for school updates? Anything?
While I was gone, when I wanted to mention stuff from December, there was a winter band concert and a winter chorus concert, and the fall, basically winter musical were all super cool. I hope that some people actually got to come see them. This week was finals week, so my brain's kind of fried right now. But the new semester starts next week. Hockey, wrestling, competitive cheer, and boys and girls basketball are in full swing. And I can't not talk about rowing. We have indoor erg race this weekend at Detroit Boat Club. So
How does that work?
It's on rowing machines.
Oh, okay.
So we earn our medals in the winter and usually pick them up in spring, if you catch my drift. But hopefully we'll be bringing home some hardware this weekend.
Any questions for Natalie? Thank you, Natalie. All right. Any discussion items? I don't believe so. Extended public comment? Anyone? Extended public comment? Anyone? Individual commissioner comments. Greg, got anything to add? Mike, anything to add? Bill, anything you'd like to add?
Yes, I just want to say that next meeting, February, will be my last, and I will expound on that at that meeting as a goodbye. But I do want to shout out to Jack Ferrucci. Tomorrow will be his 88th birthday.
Aww.
So congratulations and happy birthday to Jack. And they're going to have a little bit of a party for him at Centennial Farm, the ping pong people. So
it's supposed to be a surprise.
Is it?
No.
As he would say, not anymore. Let me tell you a quick story. I had a surprise birthday party for my wife's 75th, and I sent her the email. I haven't lived that down yet. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Bill. Leah, anything you'd like to add? Ann, anything you'd like to add?
Before we have the next meeting, Valentine's Day will be coming, so happy Valentine's Day to everybody.
All right. Ethel, anything you'd like Ann to add? Natalie?
Nope.
Tom, anything you'd like to add?
No, I just want everybody to keep in mind that there will be a renewal millage going on the ballot this year. Brandy, what was the date that which date was it?
I don't think we've decided if it's August or November yet.
That'll need to be determined then. But just keep in mind that we're going to have to get there and beat the bushes that it gets renewed.
What going to be renewed?
Well, you had the 0.5 millage. Yeah, operational. It expired last year, so it'll go back on it'll have to go on ballot this year for renewal.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else, Tom?
Oh, that's it.
All right. Thank you. Brandy, anything you'd like to add?
Just Daddy-Daughter is next Friday evening. There's still some tickets available, not very many left. We're getting close to selling out. So all you dads, you want to take your daughter out for a fun evening, you can get tickets either online or you can get them at the rec office.
All right. 8:53, a motion to adjourn.
Moved.
Second?
Second.
Mike? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion approved. Enjoy your evening and please volunteer in your community. Thank you.